Ah, the bubbly champagne. It's not just for New Year's, it's for celebrating all of life's big and small. These events. January is actually Celebration of Life Month. So today we're going to tell you all about some palate-pleasing sparkling wines. We have Wes DeSantis from State Street Wines and Spirits in Northampton.
Thank you for having me.
I think there's a discrepancy. People say champagne, they use it as a blanket word. Champagne isn't the blanket word. Sparkling wine is the blanket.
Sparkling wine, yeah, it's one of the first things we have to learn in retail. Is somebody comes in and says, I need a bottle of champagne, and you kind of have to settle them down a little bit.
Because champagne is sparkling wine, but it's from a very specific region. Tell us about that.
Yeah, champagne is specifically from Champagne, France, and almost immediately adds about $20 retail to a bottle.
But there's
wine.
a lot of sparkling wines being made in the U.S. and other places abroad that are just as good.
Just about every winemaking region in the world makes their own type of sparkling wine. So we brought a few samples of various different things. So you get, from Champagne, you have very specific grapes that are allowed to be used. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir are probably the ones people are most familiar with. In various other regions, they use different grapes. So in Spain, for instance, they make cavas. These are made from Macabeo grapes and Xarel·lo. And
now, is there a specific taste? If people are familiar with champagne specifically, is there a different taste of a cava?
You know, cava is probably the most similar to champagne as far as flavor profile. It is made in what is known as méthode champenoise, which is the method of champagne, or méthode traditionnelle. And that is referring to how they get the sparkle in there.
And we should also note, all of these bottles that we're showing today, under $20, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do we have here? This looks like a rosé in color, but I don't know what it really is.
It's a sparkling rosé wine. Often you can still use Chardonnay. This one happens to be from France, but not from Champagne. And this is predominantly Pinot Noir. You leave the skins on the contact during the fermentation a little bit longer, you get a little bit of color, but not a full-blown red wine.
Interesting. Such subtlety it's involved here in this process. Let's mix it up. What do we have here?
This is the Gruet. This is a Blanc de Noir, literally a white from red, or white from black, technically speaking. This is made in New Mexico. A family with French roots moved to New Mexico, wanted to keep making wine, and they also do méthode champenoise. So those first three are all made in the style of champagne.
Sparkling wines from all around the world.
Moving
Prosecco,
on,
I think, with champagne being #1, the second most popular or known about as Prosecco.
It is probably moving into that second slot now. Proseccos can be sweet, they can be dry. This is a slightly drier style Prosecco. It's made from the Glera grape, which most people don't know, so we just call it all Prosecco, and made in the Veneto region of Italy.
And lastly here, we have a Moscato. Now, what is Moscato?
Moscato d'Asti is also an Italian sparkling. Moscato is the grape itself. Asti is the town in the Piedmont region of Italy. This was, these are typically lower in alcohol. They're quite a bit sweeter, and these are sort of the wines that they made for the winemakers. So when you're working hard all day, you have your lunch break, you want a low alcohol wine that you can drink, and it's not going to affect the rest of your workday. So
now,
it's a nice industry to be in.
You were saying, yeah, I was going to say, any job where I can take a lunch break and have a couple glasses of sparkling wine is fine by me. Last question, these are all under $20. You can get good bottles of wine that are inexpensive, is that correct?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I would recommend any one of these on any given day. I understand, you know, Celebration of Life Month here.
Yeah, you got to celebrate all month long, all year long. Thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Head on Matt's Spiel.